Are you ready to learn? Because my super experienced guests are ready to share some really valuable information. Make sure and listen all the way to the end to get help and support. So let's start with the best audio experience.
Chat GPT. I don't know anyone who didn't discuss this topic. All marketers do it almost every single day. And that was simple to ignore AI yesterday, hard today, and impossible tomorrow. I remember a few years ago, many marketers told, no way, AI have no future. But today it's part of the process. You can't ignore AI. It's not because AI it's a golden button that you can click and get everything, but it's for the sake of saving time, money. And I'm so excited to discuss this topic with Peter. How are you?
Hello, Anatoly. I'm great. I'm having a great day. How are you?
I'm doing great. Guys, I want to tell that Peter filmed a course on Udemy about Chat GPT. So if you want to take this course, search on Udemy, Peter Mesarec, and you can get it. I'll submit the link to this course in the description, so you can learn more about this. And Peter, before we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, remind about you, because you spoke on my podcast. So I'm blessed, to learn more about new things, and remind people about you.
First, thank you, Anatoly, for having me for the second time. I'm really happy to be here. So I'm still an SEO consultant. As you know, I've been doing SEO for the last probably 25 years, and it's hard because this number all just gets higher and higher the older that I'm getting. So it reminds me every time how old I am. But I've been doing SEO for so many years, but not only SEO. As every other SEO, you know that it's not enough that you bring people to the website. You have to measure that, and then you have to get the people to do something with that. So coming with the SEO background, I still do a lot of general consulting and going into the companies as a part-time CMO, helping those companies understand how their marketing is working and how they are making it better. And of course, as you said, thinking about how to make marketing better, more efficient. ChatGPT and other AI tools are the way forward of how teams should be think of things that teams should think about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. Okay, let's talk about AI. We have two categories of people. Someone can tell, don't use it. By the way, less people can tell this, and even Google changed mind. Some representatives of Google told it's not that you don't need to use AI. It's more about what kind of content AI can create. And I think if someone criticizes AI, they don't know how to use it, because if you teach AI, if you give the right comments, you can get much better, accurate results, and everything what you need to do just to edit. It takes time to edit, but you don't need to provide keyword research. You don't need to create the structure. Of course, you need to have experience to analyze. Is everything fine? So, any insights? How to use this tool in the correct way? What to do that tool will provide more accurate results?
I just recently watched the SEO Fight Club. That's an online free YouTube that gives you a lot of information about SEO and other things. And one of the things that was said there was there are a lot of people using ChatGPT wrong right now, and they're putting out a lot of weird, low quality content, right? And that's the idea, as you mentioned. If you use ChatGPT in the proper way, you can get great results with it. But that, of course, means that you have to take time to first teach ChatGPT of what are the specifics of what you want from it. And then you have to go through phases of how to, what to ask, what queries to use to get all of the results that you want. If you just start with, give me 2,000 words of content on how to do roofing in Austin, Texas, you're going to get 2,000 words of content, but that content is not really going to be something that is going to rank well, or in the other words, it's not going to be something that's going to help anyone, right? So generally, we have to go through and what I think is really important right now in the first step is that people use ChatGPT daily, because with that they start learning on how language models work, right? Because this is a very specific type of artificial intelligence, and we have to use it in a proper way. It's changing. It gets upgraded. Just today got an upgrade. Now it knows math, and it knows how to do math much better. And if we learn through using it every day, then we can get to great ideas of how to do that, right? To be more practical. Rule number one is, whenever you want to start creating new content, what you have to do is you should provide it some content that you want to create similar type of content, right? So it's not only about the words; it's about the tone of voice. It's about how to talk to the target audience, stuff like that. So if you have previous blog posts that you wrote yourself, you can feed those blog posts into ChatGPT first and just tell it, read these blog posts and don't answer anything, right? So it's just going to read those blog posts, and then you can start giving him questions so it starts producing blog posts, and always go in the sense of the blog post that I've just given you. Can you please give me content that goes into that direction, right? The mistake that people do is they go, give me 2,000 words of content about X. Don't do that. You need to give him subtitles. You need to give him, her, it, I don't know, subtitles on, tell me about, roofing in Texas. What is different in Texas than in other countries? How do we do roofing? Is roofing with material X different? All of these ideas are going to create you small parts of your article that you can then put together, right? All of these being written in a tone of voice that you've given it before, and with other ideas that you can feed it through. It's going to create you a better content. And then you should probably go through that content and edit it as normally as you would receiving a content from, a writer on Upwork or whatever. You always go through that content, make sure that it's good. Then you can post it. Then probably you're not going to have problems with, Google saying this is low quality content, because Google doesn't really care where the content comes from. It cares to have great results on this, great content on the search results. It cares about helping their users. And if you have content that helps their users, you're going to rank well. If not, you're not going to rank well.
I see. When webmasters usually rewrite existing content, and if you don't use in the right way ChatGPT, I think this tool can just rewrite data and content that exists. And ChatGPT today, I don't know about the future, but today ChatGPT uses data from before 2021. So it's obsolete, because many things are changing, and we need to edit to provide fresh data, because if you get just rewriting, it's not good idea. And that's why many websites can't get results. They just copy others, rewrite content, but it's it's the same like to watch a movie with similar plot to many other movies. I often ask my friends, what do you think about this movie? And they reply, nothing special. I watch the same movies. And people are not interested to watch the same. People are not interested to read the same book with many familiar other books. So they want to get something new. That's why, for example, I love many great authors. For example, Jack London, he wrote his awesome books like 100 years ago, but all books are different. All books are a new journey. You can take this journey, you can live on this journey. So can you tell how to create content on Chat GPT and provide fresh data? I mean, like, to use that actual today, not in 2021 and before.
So there are a couple of answers to that, right? First one, even before we started talking about ChatGPT, the idea of you rewriting content that was already published on other websites was a bad idea in terms of SEO, right? In general, that was a bad idea. But in August of last year, that was in August of last year, Google released the helpful content update. And the idea of the helpful content update was just that. Content that is just repeating what is already set on the internet doesn't really get any bonus points. The content where you can see that someone used the thing that he's writing about, or has experience, has it in his hands, has made real tests about it, that content is what Google says is going to push forward. Upwards on the search results, right? So it's the same if you are creating the content manually, or if you're creating with ChatGPT, or if you just give someone 5 articles and say, rewrite those 5 articles into one article. That it doesn't have any additional value. It doesn't have anything that people should come for, right? This is why we have to prepare our research in advance, and then we can give it to ChatGPT, and then it can give us information. You're asking me how to get fresh data into ChatGPT, and I think this is very important. This is a part that people tend to forget. We can feed data into ChatGPT. Of course, it is a bit limited because there's a limit of how many words we can enter in it at once. But you can take your Excel sheets, you can take your internal data, you can take data from the internet and feed it into ChatGPT, and then use it as a tool to sort that data or understand that data, and then create content out of it. You can take a list of the best sprinters around the world, or winners of the Olympic Games. Feed that in there, and then start asking questions about the data that is in there. Male, female, where the countries that they're coming from, the times, how they've gone up and gone down. And then coming from that, you can start creating content that will be unique, and that will be, of course, updated with the new information that happened after 2021, right? But I think that in the future, the problem with lagging it a year or two is not going to happen. The future updates are probably going to be more updated. So, that's not going to be a long-term problem, I believe.
I'm interested about popularity of ChatGPT. It's interesting, because I used AI before, and I use some tools, and I got it. All these tools get information from OpenAI, and I played on this playground on OpenAI, and right now we have updated version DaVinci 003, and I analyzed and compare data with ChatGPT. The same, nothing special. Even on playground, we have more settings, to analyze. Can you tell why ChatGPT started to be popular, and everyone knows about this tool, including my brothers, including my 12 years old son? I don't know where he got this information, probably on TikTok, but I'm interested about why such popularity came when we had similar tools before.
I'm not sure if we had similar tools before, right? Of course, there was stuff that was as good, but I think that it all just came together, right? It was the right time. It was the right type of the tool, because some of the other tools, you couldn't just open a website and start typing stuff in there, right? You couldn't just... it didn't have a nice chat UI, so it didn't feel like you're talking to someone. All of that together, and on the other hand, proper PR has always has to be done to get tools out there, and it was used here, and all of that just came together so that people started to using it. And I think that there were other tools that started to that prepared the ground for ChatGPT. DALL-E, the image generation AI, also from OpenAI. It wasn't as popular, but it was popular enough that people started getting an idea of how good AI can be. They started using it. They just waited for it to be so practical that yes, my father can use it, and that it's not only he can use it and just try something, he can get real information that he needs for his life out of it, and that's the difference.
Okay, if your father started to use ChatGPT, we have the question about ChatGPT can overcome SEO. I remember when CEO of OpenAI replied to this question, he told, it's hard to destroy Google or overcome Google or take these positions. And please don't try to overestimate possibilities to get Google positions, because Google is big company with smart people who can adapt to find something new. But it's interesting. Bing decided to add ChatGPT on Bing search in March. Baidu, Chinese search engine, decided to do it as well, to create similar tool. And I read a few news about Google. They had secret meeting or not secret meeting, I don't know. Anyway, they decided to discuss the dangers of ChatGPT, because such tools can replace search engines, our habits, how to find information, because it's simple. You can type and get information. Probably new version like GPT-4 will provide more accurate data, fresh data, and people don't need anymore any Google search. I know it takes time, to change habits. Even if we have it, more people will still use Google or familiar search engines. But anyway, during some time, we can change habits, like listening to audio podcasts instead of radio, like, I don't know, many similar stuff. Can you tell your prediction about ChatGPT? What kind of future will be in using like search engine?
I don't want to go into predictions. It's really hard, right? But big companies have failed in the past, not being able to adjust quickly, right? IBM is a company that failed because they weren't able to adjust quickly. Kodak failed, BlackBerry failed, right? All of these are big companies that were known brands everywhere and everyone used them. But then came a change that people didn't really think of, and people started doing everything in a different way. The main difference between Google and ChatGPT, it's supposed to be that Google gives you 10 different results and ChatGPT gives you one result, right? So Google sort of gives you a variety of information that you can click through and see different views on that question. I'm not really sure that's true, right? If you read the click-through rates studies for Google, you see that most of the clicks happen on the first, second, maybe third position in Google. No one else clicks on any of the other positions. No one else goes to the second page, to the third page of Google, right? So, and generally, Google started to adding the rich snippets to the top, so directly answers from the content to the top of the search results. So generally, what Google has been trying for a very long time is give you one result, one definite result for the question that it can, right? On the other hand, ChatGPT right now has a lot of problems. It has problems with the specificity of their information, or it gives you information that's just not true. It gives you links to websites that don't exist, stuff like that. It's a new technology. On the other hand, it will learn. The main idea why Google is so big is because Google is able to differentiate about what is good information on the internet, what are good websites, what is quality real data on the internet. ChatGPT is not able to do that. But I think that it's not such a big hurdle to do that. implement that into ChatGPT. On the other hand, it's pretty easy to implement AI into showing results for Google. There always will be a channel of how we are going to ask a tool to get a response. If that's people don't care if that is Google or if that is something else. They just get used to go to a website and get all of the results there. So that, that's my prediction. Probably because Google is big enough to have other tools that we use daily, like Gmail, like Drive, Sheets, stuff like that. It will still keep a lot of people in their own domain, but it will have to switch. It will have to change a lot to keep up with the other search engines.
Yeah, I think customers will win in the end because we will use or ChatGPT or Google. Anything that we will get will be simple to use, and more accurate data. And
I mean,
remember
one more thing. What I think is the one that is going to use to implement ChatGPT or a similar technology into its voice. I think that's the one that's gonna win, right? So may that be Google Home, or may that be Alexa, may that be Siri on our phones, may that be Cortana. I'm not sure if anyone uses Cortana on Microsoft, right? But what we did on other channels is we went away from you have to go somewhere and do something there. People are just used now to ask something and get a response. So if they can link this to ChatGPT, I think that's the way where we're going to go. So it's going to be natural to talk. You're just naturally going to talk and get all of the responses. I think that's the way the people would like to use.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about what this tool can. For example, I think you can write blog posts, you can write emails, you can create marketing messages. I mean, like titles, descriptions for Google ads, Facebook ads. My brother asked me that he has struggled to write cover letter, and I told him, please use ChatGPT, and this tool wrote for him cover letter. I think I read news about Amazon developers. They are using ChatGPT to create code. So it's not like they get complete code, but it saves time to create this code so they can get existing data. So many things. Can you tell best practices for SEO? How to use this tool? What kind of content we can create, and how to find the balance between editing and complete content? For example, I mean, like if I get content, how much time I need to edit? I mean, the average data.
Number one, I think the most important part of SEO, may that be in content creation or in general, and the most forgotten about part of the SEO is keyword research, right? So using ChatGPT for keyword research, for getting ideas for topics, getting keywords. We can even go deeper. SEOs like to talk about LSE keywords, so keywords that are specifically linked to some specific topics that are passively linked to that topics. All of these are things that we can use ChatGPT for. The problem is that we can't ask it for the search volumes and other data. I mean, we can ask ChatGPT, give me the search volume for a keyword. It's going to give us the result, but that result is, of course, wrong, right? So we should be using it in the keyword research to, in the same way as we would be brainstorming with ourselves or with our colleagues or maybe with a client, right? Give me a key topic ideas for our blog on horse riding. What are the contents that we have to write about horse health? All of these ideas are probably as good or even better than when we come up with them ourselves. But then we have to do the extra step, going into SEMrush or Ahrefs or Keyword Finder, Mangools, whatever you like to use, to get the specific SEO data. Right? So it's never, ChatGPT is not really a standalone tool. It's one of the tools that we should be using in our SEO. Going forward, get the ideas with that, and then you have to, as I mentioned before, feed it with your own data, feed it with your own wishes, and then get content out of it. We can also use it, and I think it's one of the great things of using it is to enhance our data, make our content, make it better. Number one, make it better as the content itself, right? I'm a second language speaker. My English is okay, but when I'm writing emails, I always feel that it shows that I'm not really a native speaker. If I give my email to ChatGPT, I have perfect English, right? So, and in such a way, we want to optimize our content that we have. Just put it in there, make it rewrite in a way as we want. We can tell it, write it for 5-year-olds, right? Or write it as an academic letter, write it in a comic sense, write it as I created content for a tourist website. So I told it, write it as if you would be a tourist guide taking a family on, going somewhere. And then, so changing the angle of the content that you prepared yourself, it's going to do that for you very well. And then when you have the created content, you can also use it to do keyword analysis. You can just ask it, what are the keywords that are missing from my article? What are the keywords that I should be adding? Stuff like that is going to give you great results. And you can work that in both ways, in creating new content and optimizing your existing content. But never forget, ChatGPT is not able to go and read a URL. There's also a common misconception. I can ask ChatGPT, what is this website about? And it's going to give me an answer. But ChatGPT has no idea on how to go to that website and read it. It's just going to, from the URL that is there, it's just going to try to give you an answer. And maybe it has some information in the data, right? My wife just pasted her a LinkedIn URL of her LinkedIn profile in there, and he was able to, as you said, prepare a cover letter for her CV, right? So he has the data, but he didn't go to the URL and read it, right? So we always have to feed the feed the data into ChatGPT to get the any real results, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. One thing that we tested on ChatGPT, translation, because we paid a lot to translators, but we decided to analyze. We edit text, English text, and translated them to Russian and Ukrainian language. And I compare results with Google Translator. And ChatGPT translates much better, more accurate content. Sometimes you don't need to edit anything. If you add English text, you can ask, please translate with your tone, and for example, Google Translation uses AI as well, but it's more mechanical. For example, if I add on ChatGPT, I fly to school, it doesn't mean that I use airplane. But ChatGPT understands and can translate in the correct way according to specific language. Can you tell from your experience about translation on ChatGPT? Is it a good idea to just give this task to ChatGPT, or in the end we need to edit as well?
I'll answer to your question in a second. I see that Muhammad in the comments is asking if we can create a tutorial on that. Muhammad, if you're really eager, you can just find me on LinkedIn and send me a message, and I'll give you free access to my Udemy course, and you can learn from there. There's almost 3 hours of content there. You can just get that for free because you're here and asking questions. So good job for that. And your question was, I forgot.
My question about translation on ChatGPT. What do you think? Do we need to edit after translation? Because for me, I got accurate data, and I got the feeling that I don't need to translate anything because I speak these languages, I understand them. And after reading text, I got it. Yeah, it's final. I don't need to edit. Don't need to pay money, because I paid like $100-$200 per article to translate to get accurate results. But right now I don't pay this money. Any insights about that?
Right. I come from Slovenia. Slovenia is a country that has 2 million inhabitants. So 2 million people speak the Slovenian language, right? So we're a very small language. And we always have problems with tools because, of course, keyword volume tools, they have no idea about the Slovenian or about specific things in the language, and other tools just don't support our language. Even Apple doesn't support our language. So why I'm telling you this is, when I was using ChatGPT to translate stuff or just give it questions in Slovenian, it didn't really do a very good job, right? The grammar was problematic, and there were errors in there, a lot of them. So it wasn't really content that could be directly copied on the website. It depends on from which language to which language. That's from what I've seen. I agree with you. Translating between big languages, I've done German, English, German. It works great. I think my German is not perfect, but it was good enough. So just check it first. See if in general it works great, it works okay, and then you can use it. Then you can use it all the time.
Awesome. Yeah, I was in Slovenia one time. That was the lake Blake or
Blade.
Blade. Yeah, it's a clean lake, in mountains. So I love it. Yeah, awesome place, to spend time, to enjoy. I don't remember. It was like in 2012, 20 years ago. A lot. But yeah, definitely.
You're also getting old.
Yeah, definitely, it's a great place to visit. I mean, like this lake, because mountains, this nature, I love it. Okay, Peter, I have a question about common mistakes. Can you tell what kind of mistakes webmasters, content creators still do in ChatGPT, and your tips how to find a much better way?
I think the problem number one is people don't use it enough. If you can use it for so many different things. You can use it for Excel formulas. You can use it for regex coding that you use in Google Analytics filters or in Google Search Console. There's so many different things that just with using it as much as possible, we'll be able to get more of them. But there are, of course, common mistakes. I've mentioned a couple of them. It's not able to go and check out websites. So what people do is, and I've seen that people even selling like ebooks around the internet, giving you queries that you want to ask a ChatGPT. Go and create an article as it is on this website, right? He has no idea what article is on the website, so it can't go and read website. The problem number two is asking it for sources or for links to stuff. I was creating content about some medical questions. That was in the past. I'm not sure he would be still answering my questions because of all of the limits that I've put on it. But I was creating content about medical stuff, and I asked him, please give me sources for everything that is in there. And I got a great list of URLs, not only URLs, like a research title, and then the authors and the URL. And when I clicked on the URL, the website actually exists. So there was, a medical journal that talks about head injuries. Just that specific research that was in there didn't exist, right? So we can ask it for sources or ideas where to find sources, but then we have to manually look for them and just add it into our content. So that we really get the proper sources. And I think these are the two common mistakes that people are using it for. So
yeah, okay, got it. Okay, Peter, I have the question about experience. You reply to this question on the previous episode on my podcast, but anyway, tell our audience For example, if you started today from scratch, you have no this experience, what will you do to learn more about SEO and probably to unite with ChatGPT?
There is so many resources out there that it's hard to find the proper ones. I think that always, as in general life, going to the big players out there is a good idea. So, learning about SEO, going to SEMrush or Ahrefs or Moz, they all have academies. Starting there, I think that's a very good idea. And learning from there, because we really get only the information that has value. Because going to random YouTubers around the internet, it gives you a lot of content, but that content is pretty problematic. And then looking for people that really have experience in the field, as mentioned before, the YouTubers, and I of course forgot their names right now. The SEO Fight Club, right? They have great stuff. And it's the same for ChatGPT, right? Just go to the big blogs. Backlinko is always a great idea to go and check, get information there. They are covering how to use ChatGPT. Get the information from there.
Nice. I'm interested about SEO algorithms because I see when webmasters pay so much attention to trying to understand how SEO works, trying to understand what kind of algorithms can bring results. For example, right now it's a hot topic about Yandex because because we got algorithms today about Yandex. If I remember correctly, it's number like 1,900 algorithms.
1,900,
yeah, where I discovered. And I see, of course, it's not Google, but probably similar because Google has own system. But what I found, many content creators don't know how algorithm works. They pay more attention to satisfy user intent, to help customers, to support them, to share value. And Google loves all this stuff and ranks well on Google. And for me, I think it's a good idea to think more about human being because all algorithms are created for the sake of satisfying user intent to provide much better content. And if you spend time learning these algorithms, you waste time by creating this content for users, and for example, on LinkedIn, I spoke with a few great influencers. Bridget Heisen, one of them, she has like 4 million followers, a lot. And she asked me about what changed in LinkedIn algorithms for a while. And I got that people don't understand how it works. They have a lot of followers, they have a lot of engagement, results, but they don't know. Neil Patel once told that he doesn't read SEO news. He reads them, but not a lot. And he pays attention to create high quality content. If something happens, he can open surround table, analyze what's going on, what people are talking, but he spends his energy while creating this content. Can you tell how to find the balance between learning SEO news from Backlinko, many other websites, SEMrush, Ahrefs, and doing something for users?
I have no idea. That's a very tough question. But I agree with you because what happens to me sometimes when I talk to my clients, I go through and give them, the minimal versions of the content that they should be producing, like at least 500 words or at least 700 words, and have a keyword and then I'm thinking, how do they perceive this information? Why do they need the information that should be logical for them, right? If they have a website and they have a product that they would like people to get to the website and see that product, how should they do that? They should provide value. They do the same things in a physical shop. In a physical shop, in a normal shop, when you get in, there's a salesperson that tells you and gives you value. He talks to you, he helps you to pick out a product. On the website, people try not to do that. And I think that SEO is, the SEO that we try to do is sort of the answer to people trying to take shortcuts of not creating good content, not creating good website, not creating videos, not creating images, but just, how can I have 5 lines of content and rank for everything? You can't, or you shouldn't, right? And this is what Google is doing, and this is what Google is fighting. People trying to disobey the rules and trying to find ways of how to get into results without providing additional value. This is my answer of, if do you want to study the algorithms? Of course, I read all of the announcements that come out, right? But and people shouldn't go and try to find every specific, because with the Yandex information, I think what we learned is we had no idea about half of those things that were in there, right? So 1,900 different points were in there, like 600 of those were still active, and there were things in there that we had no idea about, right? So we won't really figure it out. But on the other hand, we already have a solution. We already have a result saying, as you said, just provide real value. And, it's going back to classic marketing ideas, is just help your customer and he'll give you a reward back with buying stuff from you.
Yeah, exactly. Love it. Peter, it's a big pleasure to get on my show, to learn from you. I love all your valuable insights, so valuable all the time. Tell the best way how to learn more about you, how to follow you, how to reach out to you.
The best way is probably just to find me on LinkedIn, Peter Mesarec, Mesarec, just Peter SEOS. And that's probably the best way. I post there in English, so people can just follow me there.
Nice. Guys, you can find the link in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Thanks again. I love it. So valuable. Guys, thanks a lot for watching and listening us.
Have a great day. Bye.